Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey everybody, my name is D, and welcome to Underwhelming Upkeep. So this is more kind of like just a little blog type thing. Um, when going through my boxes a while ago, the whole thing that kind of started this trek back into Warmachine was finding my old school Retribution. And after looking at them, I decided, you know what, I'm going to kind of refurbish them at least one list so that I can maybe play some people with them and start learning. Because coming up pretty soon, we have a convention where there's the Crucible going on. It's QuestCon. So this is filmed back in September. I don't know when I'm going to put it up on the channel. I'm just going to show off the high tech elves that I got because I just finished restoring them. Now, I don't have much Mark IV stuff, which is why I'm not playing Mark IV yet in terms of like just Prime, but at least these guys are playable. Like this is a legal, I think, a 100-point list. Um, and yeah, let's just go through them. So this is my Banshee. I kept trying to warp this blade back as best as I could. Like this one was also a bat, but I just couldn't. It's even using the warm water trick. It just didn't work out. I need to do more passes of gold on the sword and clean them up. It's the model itself. When I was airbrushing it with I think it's Griff Charger Gray, he ended up not taking very well to the wash, so I had to go over him again. And it's like looking at this later, there's a lot of stuff I didn't clean up. Like I see a little nub there on the shin that shouldn't be there, but it's at this point it's more like restoring it so it looks semi close to my value of what I would play. I always loved this one. Oh my god, the demon. I just love the fact that he's got two giant piss off fists and he just punches stuff to death. And then I think these have beatback, and then this gun has like a vortex gun. It pulls you in. So what I always thought funny about him is he sucks you in just to punch you back. He yo-yos you, which is really funny, at least in my opinion. I thought it was cute. This is the Sphinx, I believe. I love the Sphinx because the cannon he has. Anytime he like hits a warjack, he takes a focus or gains a focus or something like that. I have the Kickstarter caster, the subcaster. She came out really well, I think, with the restoration, like repainting it with my current methods. She came out amazing, in my opinion. I usually put the Sphinx on her just so that it'll get one from powering up, and then it will get an additional one when it hits. So it's got to have at least two focus. And we have some aspices. In the new edition, they don't do what they used to do. If I remember right, they used to have like the Phoenix protocol, so their shields would just like heal. They were like mini Phoenixes, which is why I loved them. Now they're Shield Guard, which isn't bad. Like I like Shield Guard, so they're really cheap and they're good little bodyguard units to slap on war casters to just be like, no, you don't hit my caster, you hit this little jack instead. And these are Griffins. They are Arc Nodes, which is why I adore them. Oh, way too high. I was looking at the model, not at the camera. Should probably look at the camera. Yeah. So let me pull these ones back. There. This is where I need to hold them. It came out really good. I like the different color that I did with the spears, and these are metal. The aspices, but the griffins and the big boys are plastic. They're the plastic kits. And we get two griffins. Let me go into the solos. I already showed off the Journeyman Warcaster. Again, I love her pose. I have the other one too. That one was painted by a friend, so I don't want to repaint that one, even though I love her. And this is my Warcaster. This is Raven. I think she came out amazing. I don't know what possessed me to do Griff Charger Gray as like the closing color, but I'm so glad I did. The light blue actually looks really good on him. Here's one of the solos. This is the Mage Hunter like commander guy. He does really good at buffing them up. I should have painted his swords blue like I did with the rest of the army, and you'll see that in a second. I just painted him red because the cloak was Talsar blue, and that's the same blue I use for my weapon effects, and I just didn't want there to be too much blue. And then we have Nal. He's basically, when I explode, I cancel spell effects. And that's good on his own. he came out really good compared to what he used to be. And one of the things about this project is, here's some mechanist, is I got to see these models in different states. Like some of them were painted the old way I used to paint. I'm running 3 just to dish out free focus. Um, and when I actually got to take a look at them, I seen how much I had grown. This army has models painted, or had, I should say, it still kind of does, models painted in like 3 stages of my development. Like these are the newest ones, you can tell because they use the contrast and they use the same colors and techniques. They're a lot cleaner. You know, I'm very proud of these already. You know, these are Solaces. In the app, they don't cost anything to attach to units, which is weird. And when you go to look at it, it just says value. So it's not that they don't cost 0, they cost value. This one is, I want to say, in my second stage of painting. I wasn't using contrast, I don't think, back then. Um, and I was like, you could tell it edge highlighting and stuff like that. I was definitely into my Warhammer phases. The base is actual texture paint. This is back when facing mattered. I think that's like a card. For the other ones that I did just to plug this hole, the Scorn, I used a paper plate and just super glue on top. This is a Mage Hunter Commander. It's the weapon attachment for the Mage Hunter groups. He came out really good. They both did, actually. I'll grab the other one soon. Yeah. So these both can be attached to the Mage Hunter Strike Force. His cloak is a little patchy. I think it's because he had some issues with the sealer. I might have to redo him because that does not look good. And then we have the commander slash leader of the units, back when that really mattered. Now it kind of doesn't. I don't think it ever mattered, actually. That might be just Warhammer talk. Because your commander always did more than your grunt. I just think you wanted one to show who your leader was. And then these guys are the same. The only difference is their hair. And the thing is with metal minis, is just from moving around in a small box that I put to store them in to get them out of the way, like just parts of them chip because of the metal rubbing on itself. And there's very little you can do. And it would be a lot worse if I didn't seal them. You know, it would be a ton worse if I didn't seal them. I love how the contrast got into those arms and shoulders. So like even these older models, like contrast does really well with these older models. Because this is 90% contrast. The metal is probably the only thing that's not contrast. Magos purple. I think this Blood Angel for the reds. Snakebite leather for all the browns, even the browns on the crossbows. Either Lead Belcher or Iron Warriors for anything that's just metal. Gilliman Flesh for the ears. And then we have Eris 3, I think. She's the attachment Eris. I didn't know what I wanted her to do to make her different. Like her cloak should have been black like the others, but she's a character, so I wanted her to stand out. And I took some time on her, and I really love how she came out. She came out really well. The basing, I don't know what I'm going to do with. Like the green guy, I might continue to do what I did with him and on them and just do texture paint. And then we have the Hunter Assassin group. Again, they came out really good. Like, I'm very happy with this army. Will I field it that much? Probably not. Once I get my full Mk4, these guys will probably go back into a box and not see the light of day. And then who knows? There could be I drop the game and then, you know, 10 years later pick it up and Warmachines in Mk7 and I remember the elves and the Khador and decide to get back into it. I have another faction of them I'm debating on rehabbing, which is the Dawn side. I have a lot of the Dawn models too. The only reason I picked these guys to refurb is because out of all the Warcaster choices, I loved Raven, and then I loved her as a subcaster, and you can't take her in the Dawn side. So I was like, okay, Shadow it is. The other Shadow caster I could take, because I don't have Gareth 3 or Gareth 2 or whatever it is. The other Shadow caster I could take was the guy in the golden armor, but the problem is I don't have any of his support. There's a very specific Jack for his group, and then there's some very specific like troop models that you want to take, and I don't have any of that. And it's sad because apparently that's like the meta stuff. Apparently Rat's pretty good in the meta right now, which is in legacy formats, which is cool, but I don't have the good stuff. I have the wonky weird stuff, which is perfectly okay to me. Like as long as I have fun playing them, that's what really matters at the end of the day. As long as they're enjoyable to sit down and play. And I think that this list, it's like once you're at 100, scaling down to 75 or another point value isn't hard. You just take some stuff out. So I like take out a unit of mage hunters and probably scale back the warjack some, and ta-da, there you go, 75 points. Drop a mechanic or two. But yeah, that's um that's my 100 points of Shadowrun that I have painted up or rehabilitated, as I was saying. And I hope you guys like this. Once I get more content or as I start finishing stuff, I'll start showing it off. But it's kind of good to see like your growth as a painter in terms of just different model levels. And it's like these. If you were to show these to me, even him, back when I first started, I wouldn't believe you. I would just be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll never get that good. You'd be like, but you painted this. I'm like, no, there's no way, homie. There's no way I did that. And then, here we are at a point where, I mean, I'm no master painter. I'm not going to win a golden demon, but I will admit that these will look damn good on the tabletop. But that's all I got for you. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff. It helps it out. Remember, the whole point is we're growing our collection of either, this or K-Door. I don't know. Going into the classic rat might be fun, but I doubt it. I want to, I think, focus on the Soviet Russia army. But yeah, like, comment, sub, all that jazz. And tell me, do you have anything that you pull out that sparked enough nostalgia for you to want to get back into it? Like classic video games, Warhammer, Warmachine, fantasy, anything like that. And if you did, leave it down in the comments. It's always fun to tell our stories as it is. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.